Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the DC fan site that I have plot synopsis and character bios for this issue. We are concluding the story arc from Grant Morrison dealing with the Jinn. This is JLA 31 from 2000. And you can see here computer generated. They had already permeated comic books, starting with Image, and DC just went full blown on it. We were still seeing traditional inks and pencils, but then color starting to get well, a little bit better. You can say better, you can say worse. It's really hard to tell. It's really a matter of preference. I prefer the old comic books of yesteryear. I love newsprint and that. But life changes and life is about evolving, and comic books evolved from that into what we have now, and this is just the step in between here. So of course this is written by Grant Morrison. I have a JLA playlist which it started with JLA number 1. Howard Porter is the penciler with John Dell as his inker here. So here we have Highfather, Ganthet, the Phantom Stranger, Zeus, and I think this is the wizard from Shazam. So Zeus says, thus the drama pauses, the players catch their breath, the chorus begins. Phantom Stranger says, now the fatal hour arrives. And Highfather says, and we, lords and guardians of eternity, the quintessence of wisdom, must only bear witnesses. Quint from 5, so in case. The wrath of God, imprisoned by magic from beyond space and time, shakes off his mighty chains. Behold the angel Zariel, a whole world dead in his hands, the price of the dread specter's release. So we can see here that these are different people talking, but it doesn't really tell us who. We just know that it's this is different from this, from this, from this. So this one must be Ganthet here because it's green. But all right, two colors continue to wage war in the fifth dimension, threatening the third. Humanity's fate hangs upon the whims of the imps, and the Justice League is as ever, stands foursquare against the chaos. This is really cool as a Phantom Stranger kind of coming from the earth here. But see, the final battle draws, and death will have his due. So let me see the little skull on the Phantom. I'm sorry, Phantom Stranger on the Spectre's eyes. So, all right, and so Crisis Times 5 Part 4. It is the conclusion. Gods and Monsters. As I mentioned, the credits would have been here for some reason. I have all these issues, but on the reprints, they did not kind of reprint the way that the comic books came out, and they put the credits in the page following the cover, and they just, I don't know. Sometimes with these collections, they do some weird stuff, man. I wish they would just reprint everything as it appeared, cover and all. I just don't understand the need to alter it. But it is what it is. So here we have Aquaman and Batman going on against Triumph here. We have, of course, our credits here. This would be Wonder Woman's mom, Hippolyta. So we kind of have a JSA, JLA sort of crossover here. Green Lantern during this time was Kyle Rayner. And so, all right. And so you can see Triumph hitting Aquaman here. Everything has to be a fight, doesn't it? That's fine. I can fight, he says as he punches Aquaman. He goes here. And Batman says, "My contribution to today's history meeting of the JLA and Justice Society, one of Dr. Midnight's blackout bombs." And so, you're a bright kid, Ray. And so Batman throws it at him, "Stay out of this." So, of course, the two are under the spell of Triumph. As I mentioned, I have a playlist. Feel free to catch up. And Grant Morrison always adds, like, how he would say something like, "Ugh!" So that this would be kind of like what he's trying to convey here. "Have to stop Quisp. Don't understand. Only I can stop Quisp." That would be one of the genies here. And Triumph says, "I don't know what you're trying to say. I don't want to hurt you, Aquaman. All I want is my place at the head of the table, the way it should have been, the way it should have been." So, like this Batman here, this man, Batman is just the coolest here. And Batman says, "McIntyre, I don't care what your grudge is. This genie energy you've unleashed on Keystone City is not what you think," he says. And Triumph says, "Yeah, oh sure, I believe." And then all of a sudden he's grabbed by Aquaman. He goes, "Or!" And so, protect Triumph. Of course, they're under, like I said, they're under Triumph's spells here. "Gypsy, Cindy, it's me, it's Arthur. Remember, he's taking control of your mind. We work together in Detroit, Cindy. Only I stand a chance of stopping this creature, Quisp, who's one of the genies, as I mentioned. Arthur, but you grew a beard and you went away." And then Triumph here. "Gypsy, he doesn't care about you. Once he made the dream, the old days went out the window. The only one who came back for you was me," he says. And so there's Genie hitting Aquaman from behind here. "I believed in you, all the losers, and also Rands." I don't know what that means. And so with Grant Morrison, you sort of just kind of, it's very hard to read a Grant Morrison book just one issue at a time. Grant Morrison is actually made for collections, which is unfortunate, but just the way it is. And so, all right. And Triumph says, "Ours was the right league at the wrong time, Gypsy. That's all. This is our time now. And as for you, Batman," I like this. Kind of looking up, and then Batman is sort of coming from behind. That's very creative. "360 hypersenses. You're not so great," as he dispatches Batman and also hurls him away here. And Triumph says, "We should call off the genie and save Earth. Get these two into the brig," or whatever it is they call it. It's the brig on Star Trek any. Did you hear? Uh-oh, he says, and suddenly you can see the colors here. Of course, we should have Superman here coming through. Look at that. Superman woke up. That's pretty cool here. So, um, we have Green here, so I assume this is either Ganthet or Green Lantern speaking, and oh, it is Green Lantern. So he's gonna narrate sort of what's going on. They're in Dimension 5 here, which is one of the things. I'm going to kind of skip it because it just the language and the stuff just doesn't make too much sense, but so essentially, Shazam, Captain Marvel, it's really what his name is, but um, and Green Lantern are there in the fifth dimension to ask for help. These are sort of the same creatures as Mister Mick. Oh my God, Mister Mick. Ah, oh, my goodness gracious, I'll get it. Anyway, Kyle Rayner uh, convinces them by doing something. Like I said, it's very weird. But she decides to help protect the Earth. Let me give it a chance. Mix Yiz Pitalik. There we go. Mix Yiz Pitalik. All right, and so they're gonna go ahead and help the Earth versus those genies here, or Jinn, or whatever you want to call it here. So, all right. that's essentially what's happening here. It's a bit silly how we kind of get there, but I'm just gonna move it along here. So, all right, now we're in Keystone City. We got Wonder Woman's mom, Wildcat, and the Huntress here. And he says, so that's the deal. I can do anything here, and you can try to stop me. I want action, excitement, sacrifice, he says here. And Wildcat says, just let me get close enough for a right hook, you little creep. And Hippolyta says, we'd all die in this child's place if that's what it took. But to end this, but and Johnny, I think I forgot his name. Um, I'll get to it. He says, no, forget it. Nobody's gonna die for me. I don't want a friggin' genie. By the way, he's got a potty mouth here. He's free to fight for himself. I quit. And Wildcat says, I thought you had the grit, kid. Well, if it takes a life to show you that, to show you what. And so you can see here, his Wildcat's going to try to sacrifice himself. And this genie here says, well, free will. There is no end to the games I can play with your lives. I just got here and I've only just begun. So, and Wonder Woman says, Ted, it bursts his heart just like that. Great hero. Wildcat is dead. And you can see Huntress shooting an arrow going behind Wonder Woman, but this genie stops him. Too bad, I always forget how fragile things are here. Your laws of physics, I can wear them like a funny paper hat if I want. It's going to be real easy to be the Justice League's greatest foe. I can't wait to see the look on Aquaman's face when I empty the oceans into space. And this is, like I said, this is a perfect Grant Morrison story. Just the kind of stuff that he really likes to do. When he takes over X Men, and I will eventually be getting to Grant Morrison's X Men run after I'm done with the Chris Claremont era within the next 2 years, because I post every day. So I'm hoping to be able to get to Grant Morrison within the next 3 years or so. But he says here, you have a birth connection with the fifth dimension. Odd. I'll smear you out through time till there's nothing left you'd recognize in any mirror. So you can see the kid kind of throwing himself. And then we've got Lix, who's this blue one here. And this is Yeez, the purplish pinkish one. And you can see the early digital coloring that was done here. Um, and so the Yeez here, the purple one says, Lix, please, we both just got trapped here. We're being duped. And Lix, the blue one here, says, no, I'm all powerful. Lix can never be Yeez, and Yeez can never be Lix, each almighty. So you can see him grabbing this facsimile Earth here, your T-Bolt here from Thunderbolt. And he kind of looks, and it just says, T-Bolt, say the word, eels. Anyway, he continues here, the blue one here. Each perfectly opposed. Are you ready to play Yeez? And here comes Captain Marvel. Hurting global weather is tougher than I thought, even with the stamina of Atlas. Green Lantern's brash, but likable. This word better be mixed right, or, whoa, still some of that fifth dimensional thought smog clinging to my head. Better stop, think. And suddenly you can see that the pink one gets an idea. Wow, Yil's kids, I don't know. And so here this kid punches this genie here. Like I said, he curses a lot here. And he grabs the pen and clicks it. And here comes Green Lantern and the rest of the fifth dimensional people. And they said to seize this guy here. And so, and you can see here that they take him back to the dimension. So kind of a way to just kind of end that part of the story. So now Superman in triumph here. Superman asks, "Have you gone mad?" And Triumph says, "I'm as strong as you. I'm as fast as you. I have powers you don't have names for." And Superman goes, "What? The world's under threat. People are dying. You were a leaguer, Triumph." And he says, "And what thanks did I get? I lost everything fighting for the forces of good." And Superman says, "Triumph, if you siphon solar energies from my cells, you'll kill me. I know you're not a killer." As you can see here. And Triumph says, "This time I'm doing it my way, Superman. I was the founder of the JLA. I was there at the start, and if I hadn't been lost in time, I'd be where you are." And so Steel here says, "I recommend therapy here. Get away from Superman." And he kind of looks back, and Triumph says, "I beat you already. I shredded your armor to confetti just by looking at it. Where are you?" And Steel says, "I'm everywhere. When I installed the new Watchtower security system, I included a full remote control of all the weapons from right here in my workshop. I'm now wearing this building." So here he is. How cool is Steel? Man, DC should have made him into Iron Man. I think he would be pretty popular because he's so different. I just think Steel and could be a good DC version of Iron Man. So, in fact, I'm not big on Cyborg. I think they should replace Cyborg with Steel personally. So, that's just my thing. I think Steel is way cooler. And Steel continues here. "The entire watchtower is my armor now, so think rationally and stop what you're doing before I have to use this equipment." And Superman tries to talk to Triumph again and says, "I know you were dealt a rough hand, but all you had to do was talk to us. You were a fine leaguer, Will. Sorry, Will from his name, sorry. You'd have been welcome anytime." And he's like, "What?" And Superman says, "I'm sorry," as he punches him here. Look at that. That's a beautiful drawing here. And so now Gypsy comes too because Triumph is out here. And she asks if Ray's okay. And Batman says, "Ray's fine. You're both under telekinetic control." No, that's not how telekinetics work. Triumph betrayed the League. He's finished. Um, and Steel says, "I've been doing some reading. Your powers are electromagnetic in nature. I'll microwave you from here if you don't stop. Final warning." And Triumph says, "Go ahead. I'll take it. I'll fry you with an EMP wave. I'm sick of all you smug superior." And Steel says, "You asked for it." So, look at this. Another great panel here. Howard Porter was really a good penciler here. All right. And Triumph realizes his magic words are not working. He says, "Where's my genie? Everything's gone wrong again." And Hourman says, "Your plans are undone, Billy McIntyre. And in the end, you were simply the pawn of forces beyond time, beyond your understanding." And Hourman says, "You must run. I can't protect you. I'm time blind in your presence. I'm trying, but run." And so Triumph says, "Oh God, what happened to me? What was I thinking? I just seemed to go the wrong way, and I could have joined any time I wanted." And then he kind of laughs here. And here comes the Spectre. "Do you think if I go back in there, they'll just say I'm really sorry?" And of course, the Spectre says, "Save your breath and fall for a final prayer, evil one. Your Now comes your the hour of your damnation." So, and so, um, you can see he's about to get his just deserves. For I am the specter of vengeance, and I am risen from the dead to still your cold heart here. So, he turns him into ice here. All crimes must be paid. So now he's gonna bust him through. But of course, Zariel is going to stop him here. Um, oh, I it's comic books are cool here. So here's Zariel. Stop! No. um, stand away from this man, spirit. And the specter says, "You have no authority here, angel. You called me, you freed me from the rock, and I come to fulfill my appointed duty as avenger of murdered innocents here." And Zariel says, "I am heaven's immortal representative on earth. We freed you to help protect the earth from a higher reality. Beings who made this man their pawn. And this is how you protect us?" He asks. And Spectre says, "There is no reality beyond judgment. He directed the slaughter." And Zariel says, "I don't care what you blame him for. No more Spectre, or will you kill me to get him?" And Superman's like, "Spectre, thanks for your help. You can leave now." And Spectre says, "You breached celestial protocol, angel. This will not go well for you in the court of light." And Zariel is like, "Don't you dare threaten me." And so here comes the original Green Lantern. Yes, I know his name is Sentinel. I think that's stupid. I liked him better when Jim Corrigan was part of the equation. Zariel, well done. I'm afraid there's some bad news from Keystone. And so here we go with a Wildcat dead here. And this is the original Flash here. The last couple of years, I've been it's been one after the other. Al, Johnny, and Charlie, and all the others. Good men and women I never had the last drink with. That last chance to tell them how proud I was to fight in their company. Ah, crap, he says. And here's Hippolyta here. It shouldn't have been Ted, that's all. He was always there protecting your back. Ted Grant was supposed to live forever. And so this kid is thinking something here. And Flash here says, somebody else should speak now. And Hunter's like, "Please don't be dead." And finally he speaks here. "You have the sexiest voice I ever heard." Okay, you and Catwoman, it's even. So Ted is alive. And they're like, "How can it be?" And it was, of course, this kid brought him back here with a wish here. So, all right. So here we have a great of the JLA and the JSA kind of together here. Pretty good image here. And so now we're at the JLA watchtower, and you can see Plastic Man and Zariel are going to put in a sign, and they're leaving here, and we're going to see what that was in just a moment here as we get Triumph here. Founding member of the JLA, maintain at 60 below zero to make sure that ice doesn't melt and he can't get out. And I don't think to this day that they've done anything with him. So anyway, all right, JLA 31, Grant Morrison, Howard Porter, and John Dell. Like and subscribe. I do thank you for listening. Goodbye.